What's up? Welcome to the Bulletproof of BJJ podcast. It's a Q&A episode, so we're answering the questions from you guys. If you want to leave us a question, go to bulletproofofbjj.com, hit the podcast tab, and record us a voicemail. Guys, we fucking love hearing from you. We know it takes a little bit of time to get back to y'alls, but please go and leave us a voicemail because we absolutely love it, and it generates some epic discussion. The first question today is coming in from the Ginger Ninja.
Do it.
Hey guys, hope you're well. I'm just after your opinion on kids' heavy weightlifting.
Yeah.
I've seen an increase of kids' weightlifting recently, and in particular deadlifts. Just after your opinions, do we think it's beneficial, detrimental, etc.? I've sent through some reference videos in the Bulletproof Instagram page, but just after your thoughts. Thank you.
Oh, what a fucking great question. And how interesting, being that the last question we covered on a recent Q&A was about a fella, a lovely bloke, also an Aussie, who wants to get his kids into some extra strength training.
That's right.
Look,
that's right.
First thing we got to say is we are not an authority on kids and strength training. However, it has never stopped us sharing our opinion, so let us proceed with that. What references you got
Well,
here?
no, I would say, I've trained kids. So this is from Ebony Stratford from Queensland. She came to the
I
meetup.
recognize the fucking
Yeah,
voice.
you knew.
Yeah.
So shout out Ebony. She may not have wanted to be named. She sent me a video of Eddie Hall's son, who I think is like 14. Big kid, right? Strong kid. Lifting with terrible form. Now, Eddie Hall is a legendary lifter.
Can't be
one of
worse
the
than
greatest deadlifter of all time, like right up there. Right? Until recently, his deadlift record stood for a long time, right? The first guy to break do 500 kilos. But this video is his son with the belt on, round back all the way,
curling that shit.
and you're like, is that what he's meant to be doing? Because don't get me wrong, there's a lot of discussion around if having a rounded upper back is bad in deadlifting, and actually, Eddie Cohn and a bunch of other top.
All the big strong guys are using a flex thoracic.
Thoracic, but not lumbar.
No.
A flex
lumbar you're trying to keep in a
yeah,
fixed shape.
because it's really not set up to take load at those top levels, right? And so Ebony sent me stuff. She's like, what do you think of this? I'm like, that's garbage technique. And I'm sure you can have Eddie Hall co-signing it, but that's terrible, right? And yes, I actually am a big fan of getting young men and women to lift weights, but with good technique. And this is something we said before. If your technique holds up, then you're good, right?
Proceed.
Please continue up until the point that you don't. And I keep that rule for everybody.
Yeah.
So I don't think it doesn't matter if it's a young person or an older person. You really can't make excuses for techniques that are going to lead to injury, because we're not in the gym to get fucking injured. We're not trying to be heroes. And really, I think it's irresponsible for adults to promote kids to go heavier and heavier if their technique looks like shit.
Yeah, I think kids kids are fucking malleable.
They are.
Kids, you see it, like that kind of video, right? A kid can do this incredible feat, lift this obscene amount of weight with the most fucked up posture that an adult couldn't do because they would just blow their disc out, or they'd have some other kind of security mechanism in their body go, no, stop.
Compensate.
Yeah, And so I think the thing is that we can't, kids should be strength training. They should be lifting heavy relative to their level of strength and ability. But it doesn't mean that we should be grossly overloading things and putting them into shit positions just because they can.
Yeah.
Right. And this is the dilemma, right? For a lot of kids, is that their coordination can be a little bit funky, right? As they're growing. And so I don't actually if I'm thinking about my son, I don't think I'm ever going to want him to be lifting at that upper end for a long time.
Well, yeah,
but I'm absolutely happy for him to be lifting well at a moderate kind of intensity. You know what I mean?
But I mean, you can see clips of young Chinese girls who are doing Olympic weightlifting, lifting with immaculate form.
Yeah.
And their body weight is 35 kilos, and they're lifting their body weight. But
are they grinding in that kind of 1RM thing that we?
No. They're working at a very top end, but their technique is fucking crisp.
Yeah.
And this is where I think we've got to be really clear that even though a guy like Eddie Hall, who's got one of the greatest deadlifts of all time, I'm not sure what kind of a coach he is when he's standing there on the sideline going, "Go on, son, go on," and it's clearly anyone outside of it's like, is that wrong? Because even Ebony's like, that looks wrong to me. And I'm like, yes. Yeah, because it's whatever you say, his son's been lifting for a little while. His son's been lifting as probably as long as his dad's encouraged him to do it. Ultimately, if it could be injurious, it is irresponsible for the adult to promote it. That's my take on it. So if you've got a kid with amazing technique and they can do it safely, then you want to encourage different types of load-bearing activity. But dangerous technique is dangerous technique.
I mean, this is the beauty of like Olympic lifting for kids, is that the technicality puts a handbrake on the intensity.
On the load, yeah.
Yeah, and you can just drill the fuck out of it and kid will get strong, right?
Yeah.
Like the Chinese weightlifters that we see.
Yeah.
Like I would say that I've observed in gym culture, and you would have seen this too, is that deadlifting, like heavy barbell work, has become really popular among kids.
It has.
And there's this, and I see kids, and not kids like that age, but like 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds.
Teenagers, young teenagers.
Fucking awful form, going super heavy. And I'm like, well, we never did this. I mean, we never deadlifted, right? Not in my scene. It was all just upper body bodybuilding shit.
Depends, yeah.
Yeah, but there's a trend going on, right? They're seeing it. And of course, some kids are doing that really well, but a lot of them are just doing it dog shit.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's problematic. Poor coaching.
Good question, Ebony. And like based off those videos, you're spot on in saying that. I don't think it's a problem with weights. I think it's a problem with technique and not learning it right.
Agreed.
The number one thing you can do to improve your BJJ training is develop a strength and mobility routine. And we have the routine for you, the Bulletproof for BJJ app. Myself and Joey have put this together with our over 30 years of experience in the health and fitness industry, as well as over 30 years of BJJ training. It is the culmination of everything we know to help you unlock your athleticism for BJJ. The perfect mix of strength and mobility training, as well as the perfect amount of advice to keep you on track, minimize your injuries, and have you performing like a weapon. Take the 14-day free trial. Just go to the App Store or the Play Store, download the app, and you can get in there, use it, benefit, and also join our community where you can get advice, get coaching, and get your training better today. Go to the App Store, download the app, and we'll see you on the inside.
Next one, Frederick.
Hi guys, Frederick from Norway here. I'm 22 years old. I've been doing BJJ for about 7 months, white belt. And I've been doing powerlifting for 7 years. I'm enjoying BJJ a lot, but I'm noticing that the powerlifting clashes a bit with my BJJ, especially when it comes to weight groups, because I'm 183, roughly 150, 120 kilos, depending on the day. And if I'm trying to like get up my numbers and stuff like that in the powerlifting, I recently had my first BJJ tournament where I noticed that the heavyweight classes were too big for me. So I'm wondering, how do I figure out what weight bracket is best for me? And like, what weight should I cut down to? What kind of process do I use to figure that out? Because I'm not the tallest guy in the world, and I'm feeling like that the weight issue. Well, I'm not tall enough to weigh what I'm weighing, I guess, after experiencing my first tournament. So how do I decide my weight class, I guess?
Okay, I got
How tall did he say it was? 180?
183, but
183.
120.
Fuck, so he's my height.
120 kilos. Powerlifter.
Unit.
22 solid.
Unit.
Hench, brah.
Hey,
So-
Norway, love to hear it.
Yeah,
Visited
dude.
the country once.
Strong of the north. Look, I'm going to say this. Because it's your first comp, I don't think that's reflective, right? Like, I think you can be your weight and your height and do well. But no, there's some big motherfuckers out there. And when you're in that super heavyweight category, it's open, right? You're now in the opens.
What is it, like 110 plus?
Hupthor could show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 99 to 110, and then it's like 110 above, depending on what comp you're in.
Yeah.
And generally, when you're doing local comps, you're weighing in on the day. So there's cutting weight kind of doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Yes, could you maybe be lighter? But here's my question for you, my solid friend. How much are you prioritizing jiu-jitsu and how much are you prioritizing your powerlifting? Because when you drop that weight, you're going to notice that your max strength does go down a little bit, right? And that's, you got to work out what you're optimizing for. You will be more efficient, move better, feel lighter, have more energy if you're lighter. It's just that, it's that simple. It doesn't matter who you are. But you're going to notice your top end lifts for SBD, it will be harder to keep them as heavy as they might be now. So I think you've got to make a little bit of a choice of like, well, if I'm prioritizing jiu-jitsu, I have to accept my strength might go down a little bit if I am going to try and lose a bit of weight here. An important thing to understand, and I don't know because I've never seen you, right? But there's a guy called Honorio. You may have seen him. He's a GFT guy. He's a fucking unit. I think he's one of the special police in Brazil. This guy is not tall. He fights in the heavyweights and he regularly wins the absolute, and he is significantly shorter than people. So I don't think being shorter and being solid is necessarily your biggest problem. But that said, as you gain more experience, I would recommend maybe checking out your body composition, like how much is muscle, how much is fat. It will be more efficient for you to be a fraction lighter. And what I'd say is just work out what is your composition. If you've got a little bit more body weight, that's a bit more adipose tissue, then maybe, getting lighter's there. But if you've got the densest bones and you're just like, just a nugget of a human, maybe it's getting better at what you already got.
Yeah, I agree in that you've only done one comp, so you can't go off really the data because it's not enough exposure to know. But man, if you've been powerlifting for 7 years, you are going to have a distinct strength advantage on everybody. And I would think, like I remember competing against guys who were shorter and nuggetier than me.
Yeah.
And I actually hated competing. I'd prefer a bigger guy.
Yeah.
Because I just felt like I could control a bigger guy easier.
Yeah.
So I actually think you should be able to, it shouldn't, and none of this should be a disadvantage for you.
You got to just find how to make it an advantage for
That's
you.
right. And look, if you're at 120 and you're competing against someone who's 140, you are smaller and faster and more agile than they are. And
potentially.
That's going to be your advantage against them. Yeah, all things being more or less equal. So I would not change anything drastically. I'd just stick with it and fucking see how you go, because you sound like you could be a real nightmare.
Yeah, it sounds like your athletic potential is huge in jiu-jitsu. So, but I would just say maybe do a DEXA scan and find out what is the composition here, because maybe there's not a bunch of weight for you to lose, and play with it, right? You're early in the journey. You're young, mate. Fuck around and find out. I think you're going to become a monster.
He's like, I'm 2% body fat.
Wow.
You're like, damn, what's that like, bro? Third one for the day coming in, anonymous. People always hiding their identity.
Strange.
Hey, Blue Belt here. My question is, should I go back to training in the gi?
Yes.
For context, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for about 4 years now, and I originally started off in the gi, but got kind of pulled into the whole no-gi allure,
of course,
and started training exclusively in no-gi, and kind of got obsessed with no-gi, and I haven't trained in the gi in such a long time.
Right.
Now,
J-Rod's
after university, I moved back with my folks, and I've been training at a 10th Planet gym, which is really cool. The only problem is that the hours really don't align with mine, and so I can't get as much training as I want to, since I have to, unfortunately, go to work. But a other gym opened up nearby me, but it's a gi exclusive gym.
Oh.
And so I've been debating whether or not I want to spend the money to do cross training, just so, I can improve my jiu-jitsu. So I wanted to know if you think it's a worthwhile investment for me to start training gi, even though I know I exclusively just want to compete in no-gi tournaments and such. Thank you. Also, I love this podcast. It's very swag.
That's very
Fucking
swag.
legend.
Great. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it, man.
Blue belt.
The man who identifies as
Blue belt. I like it. Look, I'm going to say yes, but that comes with its own bunch of hard, right? I think
What, yes to going and training
go
in the gi?
train the gi, but it's playing on hard mode in the sense that if you haven't trained the gi in a while, and like, you know, I hadn't trained the gi in a while, and I did an open mat a little while ago in the gi, immediately got like gi graze on my face. Knuckles, like fingers straight away. Oh my God, the fingers hurt. You know, there's all these things. And also I got twisted up because someone had my pants leg and I was like trying to get, and they twisted me and I'm, you know, framing, and it contorts you in a way that usually in NoGi, you just, you know, you can slip out.
Yeah.
And so I believe that even though there are these kind of negative side effects of training in the gi, the good thing about it is it does slow the game down a little bit and it makes you think. And in that way, that is helpful for jiu-jitsu. I'm not saying gi jiu-jitsu directly translates to no-gi. No, I am not saying that. But if it means you get to train more, even though you've trained for a while and you're a blue belt, I think it will still help you develop. Because if you're only training once a week, if that, at the 10th Planet Gym, even if you love it, your progression will stall. You're a blue belt. We want to see you get to purple. Like, I think if whatever enables you to get a bit more training in, I think that's the choice.
Yeah, I would agree. I think just getting it in. If it's a choice of like in the gi or just not doing jits, do it, man. Yeah, I mean, I guess like, you know, you're at blue belt now, so you know, you're at a time where you might want to start to specialize. But I would think that taking time off the mats because it doesn't have the exact flavor that you want doesn't really make sense. And to be honest, like, you can just work your no-gi game in the gi.
Yeah.
Of course, you got to deal with the fuckery of someone that's putting you in a reverse Della worm or a...
Yeah, using your lapel.
Yeah, like, and then that... we all hate that. But, you know, you can just be doing your same shit and getting better so that you're keeping the blade sharp when you're back on the no-gi mats.
Yeah, no, I think the option that allows you to train and stay on the mats is the option.
Yeah.
For sure.
And you know what, actually, there's... Back when we started, it was just, you just did both.
Yeah.
And it just didn't matter. And in my mind, it still doesn't matter. It's more divided now, and we've spoken about this a lot, and they're kind of separating as worlds. But you can also just look at it as it's the same shit. It's all grappling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just like different parameters. It's just like, you know, if you're playing a game when you're a kid and then you just include like a new rule. So I feel the same way if I'm doing judo. I know certain grips I can't take, but it's like, okay, all I have to do is put this guy on the ground. Seems kind of easy. Like, not easy, but it's easier than I put him on the ground and now I got to pass his guard. Now if I can just put this motherfucker on the ground, I win. That feels like an easier game to me because but it's just a different rule set. And same thing with wrestling. Same thing with any kind of grappling you do. You just look at it as like, oh, it's just a slightly different take on a similar game.
Yeah.
And just make it more fun for yourself. Don't get like hard baked into the ideology of just no-gi and just gi and whatever the fuck.
Yeah. I appreciate the questions today. If you want to leave a question for us, go to the Bulletproof webpage, bulletproofforbjj.com. Go to the podcast tab, hit the red button, record us one, and we'll feature you on an upcoming Q&A episode. Peace.
Yes, indeed.